Hey, NFL fans, buckle up because we've got some absolutely massive breaking news that's shaking up the entire league. In a move that nobody saw coming, the Philadelphia Eagles have traded their explosive young safety, Sidney Brown, to none other than their bitter NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. This blockbuster deal, confirmed just hours ago, is already being called one of the biggest and boldest moves of the 2025 NFL offseason. The trade has sent shockwaves through the football world, igniting passionate debates among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. Whether you bleed green for the Eagles or rock the star for the Cowboys, this trade is a game changer, and we're diving deep into every angle of this seismic shift in the NFL landscape. So, grab your jerseys, hit that subscribe button, and let's break it all down. Let's start with the man at the center of this trade, Sidney Brown. Drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023, this young safety burst onto the scene with a reputation for being a high-energy, versatile playmaker. At just 25 years old, Brown brings a rare combination of speed, physicality, and football IQ that made him one of the most intriguing defensive prospects in his draft class. During his rookie season with the Eagles, he showed flashes of brilliance, big hits, clutch plays in coverage, and a knack for being around the ball. Whether he was flying into the box to stop the run, covering tight ends, or even blitzing off the edge, Brown proved he could do it all. His athleticism and relentless motor made him a fan favorite in Philly, and many believed he was on the verge of becoming a cornerstone of the Eagles' defense. But here's where things get interesting. Despite his undeniable talent, Brown's role in Philadelphia was never fully cemented. The Eagles' secondary is one of the deepest in the NFL, loaded with young stars like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Reed Blankenship, not to mention veteran additions like Adoree Jackson. With so much competition for snaps, Brown often found himself in a rotational role rather than a full-time starter. The Eagles' defensive scheme, under coordinator Vic Fangio, emphasizes specific roles and precise fits, and while Brown's versatility was a strength, it also meant he didn't have a singular, defined role. For a team coming off a Super Bowl win in 2024, the Eagles are clearly in win-now mode, and it seems they made the tough decision to prioritize roster flexibility over waiting for Brown to fully develop into a star. So, what exactly did the Eagles get in return for parting ways with such a promising talent? While the full trade details are still trickling out, early reports suggest Philadelphia is receiving a package that includes draft picks and a rotational player from Dallas. Insiders are hinting at a mid-round pick, possibly a fourth or fifth, along with a player who can provide immediate depth to the Eagles roster. This move screams long-term strategy for Philly. General Manager Howie Roseman, known for his savvy roster management, is likely looking to stockpile draft capital to address future needs while adding a role player who fits their current scheme. The Eagles have a history of making bold trades to reshape their roster. Think of their deal for Jahan Dotson last year, and this trade feels like another calculated gamble to keep their championship window wide open. Now, let's shift gears to the Dallas Cowboys, because this trade is an absolute statement of intent from America's team. The Cowboys are coming off a disappointing 7-10 season in 2024, marred by injuries to key players like Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and Trayvon Diggs. But with a new coaching staff led by Brian Schottenheimer and a renewed sense of urgency, Dallas is clearly not content to sit back and rebuild. Instead, they're doubling down on their defense, which is already one of the most talented units in the league. With Micah Parsons wreaking havoc up front, Trayvon Diggs locking down receivers, and a host of other playmakers like Darren Bland, The Cowboys' defense is a force to be reckoned with. Adding Sidney Brown to this mix takes their secondary to a whole new level. What makes Brown such a perfect fit for Dallas? It's his versatility. The Cowboys love players who can wear multiple hats, and Brown is the definition of a Swiss Army knife. He can play deep safety, line up in the box, cover slot receivers, or even blitz off the edge. His speed clocked at a blazing 4.47 in the 40-yard dash allows him to keep up with the league's fastest receivers, while his physicality makes him a nightmare for running backs and tight ends. Under defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who's known for creative schemes and aggressive play calling, Brown could be the missing piece that elevates Dallas's defense from great to elite. Imagine a third down package with Parsons rushing the passer, Diggs shadowing the top receiver, and Brown lurking in the middle of the field, ready to pounce on any mistake. That's the kind of dynamic potential this trade brings to Dallas. The reaction to this trade has been nothing short of electric, especially on social media. Eagles fans are in a state of shock, with many expressing mixed emotions about losing a player with Brown's upside. Some Philly faithful are heartbroken, feeling like the team gave up on a potential star too soon. Others are more pragmatic, trusting Roseman's track record and hoping the draft picks and player acquired in the deal will pay off down the road. Meanwhile, Cowboys fans are over the moon. Social media platforms like X are buzzing with Dallas fans calling this trade a steal and hyping up Brown as the next big thing in their secondary. Memes of Brown donning the Cowboys star logo are already flooding the internet, and some fans are boldly predicting he'll be a Pro Bowler by the end of the 2025 season. Analysts, too, are weighing in with hot takes. Some are calling this one of the most underrated moves of the offseason, a trade that could have ripple effects come playoff time. Others are more skeptical, questioning whether Brown can live up to the hype in a new system and whether the Eagles might regret trading a player with his potential to a division rival. After all, the NFC East is one of the most competitive divisions in football, and matchups between the Eagles and Cowboys are always high-stakes affairs. The thought of Brown lining up against Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown twice a year is enough to make Eagles fans nervous. But for Cowboys fans, it's a dream scenario, a chance to stick it to their rivals while bolstering their own roster. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Trades like this aren't just about moving a player from one team to another. They're about the strategic vision of each franchise. For the Eagles, this move signals a focus on roster flexibility and long-term planning. Coming off a Super Bowl win, Philly is in a unique position. They've got a loaded roster, a quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who's playing at an MVP level, and a running back in Saquon Barkley, who's coming off one of the best seasons by a running back in NFL history. But with big contracts for players like Hurts, Barkley, and Landon Dickerson, the Eagles need to manage their salary cap carefully. Trading Brown, who's still on his rookie deal but likely to command a big extension in the future, allows Philly to maintain financial flexibility while adding assets for the draft. For the Cowboys, this trade is a clear signal that they're all in for 2025. After a frustrating 2024 season, Dallas is under immense pressure to deliver. Owner Jerry Jones has never been one to shy away from bold moves, and this trade fits his aggressive style. The Cowboys know they have a championship-caliber defense, and adding a player like Brown could be the spark they need to get over the hump. With Dak Prescott returning from injury and a new-look offense that includes recent additions like running back Javonte Williams, Dallas is building a team that can compete with the NFC's best. The question is whether Brown can step up and become the impact player they're betting on. Now, let's talk about Sidney Brown himself. For a young player like him, this trade is both a challenge and an opportunity. In Philadelphia, he was part of a crowded secondary, fighting for snaps and trying to carve out a role. In Dallas, he's walking into a situation where he's expected to make an immediate impact. The spotlight will be on him from day one, and the pressure to perform will be immense. But Brown's got the tools to succeed. His college tape at Illinois showed a player who could dominate at every level of the defense, and his brief flashes in Philly proved he can hang with the best in the NFL. If he can adapt to Zimmer's scheme and build chemistry with his new teammates, the sky's the limit. For the Eagles, the loss of Brown means they'll need to lean on their depth in the secondary. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are both first-round talents with sky-high potential, and Reed Blankenship has emerged as one of the best young safeties in the league. Add in veterans like Adoree Jackson and the recently acquired Dorian Thompson-Robinson in a separate trade, and Philly's secondary is still loaded. But losing a player with Brown's upside is a gamble, especially when you consider the wear and tear of a long NFL season. Injuries happen, and depth is crucial, so the Eagles will need their young players to step up in a big way. What's next for both teams? For the Cowboys, this trade is just the latest in a series of aggressive moves. They've already made waves this offseason by acquiring quarterback Joe Milton, from the Patriots, and signing running back Javonte Williams to a one-year deal. With a new coaching staff and a revamped roster, Dallas is clearly aiming to make a deep playoff run in 2025. For the Eagles, the focus is on maintaining their status as NFC contenders. With Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley leading the offense and a defense that's still one of the best in the league, Philly isn't going anywhere. But this trade could have long-term implications for their roster construction. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, but this trade is on another level. It's not just about Sidney Brown moving from one team to another. It's about the ripple effects this deal will have on two franchises with Super Bowl aspirations. For Brown, it's a chance to prove himself on a new stage, to show the world that he's more than just a rotational player. For the Eagles, it's a calculated risk, a move that could either solidify their roster for years to come or come back to haunt them. And for the Cowboys, it's a bold bet on a young talent who could be the final piece of their championship puzzle. As we look ahead to the 2025 season, one thing is clear: this trade has set the tone for what's sure to be an exciting offseason. The NFC East is already one of the most competitive divisions in football, and this move just raised the stakes even higher. When the Eagles and Cowboys face off in Week 1 in Philly, you can bet Sidney Brown will have a chip on his shoulder, ready to prove his former team wrong. And for fans, that matchup just became must-watch TV. So, what do you think about this blockbuster trade? Are the Cowboys getting a steal, or did the Eagles outsmart their rivals with this deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. If you're loving this kind of breaking NFL news, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. The NFL offseason is heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned for more.